Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Ears to the East, where it is I and him. And I just realized I never changed my name on these things. So I'm going to do that now. There you go. That's my channel name now. Just so if anyone listens to this and thinks, hey, he's doing a good job, they can go check out my channel. Futility. Futility, my friend. Yeah, so hi, Neil. How you doing, mate?
tired,
Aw.
so tired. Running
Aw.
on a massive lack of sleep.
Aw. Well, I believe you're on a lack of sleep because, well, I might be wrong, but you and I obviously went to see some gigs. And if I've posted these videos in the right order, people will have recently watched a video where we talked about how you went to the Babymetal gig. I went to the BAND-MAID gig here in Japan. And, we've been having our fun. But one of the things that came up, a lot of people have been talking about this, BAND-MAID final gig of the tour show, 10th anniversary, Yokohama Dream gig, blah, blah, blah. And like usual, at the end of the gig, they finished by having a little video coming up, which was like preview for what we're doing next time, so there's lots of announcements about like gigs they're doing next year. And one of the ones that came up is all new album in 2024, which I hate to say it, but if you didn't see that coming, you had your eyes closed. But the thing which was interesting, and I guess we should have seen this coming, is there was one sign that came up. And in part, I was excited because it said there will be song releases. I don't know if this is actually to do with the album, but there will be song releases which are collaborations with other artists. I'm excited, except they put a word in there. And here it comes. Here it comes. There will be collaborations with Western artists. All right, so let's get all right. Before the weeby white boys get kicked out of the room by everyone who's listening to this. So all right, look, it's no secret that one of the yes, East Side is the best. All right, but one of the reasons why I don't really listen to Western music much anymore, it's not because I've got anything against it. There is some Western music I occasionally listen to, but as a general, I don't find it anywhere near as fulfilling. And for you to enjoy a collaboration between two artists, you don't have to like them both as much as each other. Yeah. But you have to feel like both artists are bringing something to the collaboration. And I hate to say it, but I can't really imagine any Western artist who I am really like, oh, I can't wait to see what they'll bring to BAND-MAID sound. I can think of some Japanese artists, but
yeah, I was actually going to say I'm struggling to think of like who.
Well, can I throw one in just because this will give you a bit of fuel for the fire as well? I think the most obvious one, I'm pretty sure this is going to come up. It's got to come up because there's photographs of them together and everything. We think of Western artists, we're thinking like European, we're thinking like United States. But what about our dear Mexican friends? I think they're Mexican. The Warning. I think there's a good chance we could be getting a BAND-MAID Warning song. I mean, I'll be honest. Unlike most BAND-MAID fans, I'm not a huge Warning fan. I don't dislike them. It's just like nothing about this sound makes me shut the fuck up. People already hate me. They've probably already tuned out of this. If anyone's watching this, then they certainly aren't liking me, that's for sure. But thing is that, basically the Warning, they just kind of like one of those fans who go, oh, okay. But they're not like, wow, they really bring something interesting. So, just in my opinion, it's, so I'm just kind of like, that one I would be kind of excited for because at least, I remember when Warning did that. Sorry, I'm waffling. I'll say this quickly. I swear. I remember when Warning did the cover of Enter Sandman. Enter Sandman. I'm not a big fan of Metallica either. Jesus Christ, everyone's tuned out. I'm not a big Metallica fan, but their cover of Enter Sandman was much more interesting than the original, in my opinion. So, in other words, it's not like they can't do something interesting. They have got good sonic ideas. They've got a lot of musical talent. I'm just not a big fan of their songwriting. So, anyway, there you go. There's something to fuel the fire. Yeah, oh, shut the fuck up. Not like you have to get the crowd on side. I pretty much pushed them on your side already. Why did I put this in the corner? I'm just like inviting people to dislike my channel.
Oh, Jesus Christ. There should be like a little animation that pops up with like just like all the dots from your side just slowly trickle into my side.
It's just like the subscriber count. Mine just going down. Do I give them to you or do I drag you with me? That's the question.
The Warning, I think, would be a really, really good shout. Probably as one of the few Western artists, I would probably say Warning would be one of the ones I would have said anyway. It definitely feels like a collaboration that's all about that cold hard cash, hun.
I think that one's about friendship, though. I mean,
I think that, yeah, I think it is.
They seem to have been brought together by fans, and they seem to get along, but you never know. But it looks like it.
To be honest with you, it seems to just be a good thing all around, really. I think the music wise, fan wise, and also reach wise as well. I mean, they both get something out of it. The Warning for obviously Japanese fans, and Band-Maid for more American and South American territories as well. So they're both. It's a mutual beneficial relationship, I think. Yeah. And if they're friends as well, and they get on with each other behind the scenes, then hell, even more the better for it. Hopefully that translates well into a really banging song if they get on well and that happens. So I'm really struggling to think. I'm nervous when they say Western audiences, but I hope
artists,
yeah, I hope they don't go too overboard. I
don't think it's going to be like the Babymetal thing, because I hate to say it, but Babymetal's collaborations. I mean, look, they seem to have been influenced more by I don't know, it just seems like those collaborations were more set up like a sort of a corporate play date than anything. It's like, here's Little Uzi Vert, he's popular with a lot of people. Bring Me the Horizon, that actually worked out quite well. But again, that felt very much like
Kingslayer's banging though. I really like that.
Yeah,
I think
that did work.
I think having spending a lot of time with Bring Me the Horizon really influenced the other one album as well. Like there's so many like cues off that album that just sounds like Bring Me. And there's definitely been a cross or a bit of inspiration, I think, from the girls hanging around with Ollie. I quite like the Tom one, although I was like originally when I first heard it, I was like, this is good, but I don't know if it's going to be a banger. Haven't just again spoiler because I don't want to say too much because we're going to talk about it in another video once Benedict's here. But haven't seen it.
We already did. I posted that one first. People have already seen it.
Oh, people have already seen that one. All right, good.
That's how it works.
So we're traveling backwards and forwards in time here.
I know, right?
But yeah, haven't seen that song live just the other day. I get a newfound appreciation for it. It's actually quite a banger.
Actually, you corrected me without me even realizing. I didn't even think of the Tom Morello one in the same context, but the Tom Morello one, that's one of my favorite Babymetal songs outright in ages. Probably probably even a top 10 for me. That one, I really, really like that song. It's just the funny thing is that I didn't think of that so much as a collaboration, so much as just Tom Morello stepping in to add like a guitar line. Rather than here's two artists who are completely creating a song together. But then again, I think, no, you got a point, actually. Yeah, actually, if it was something, I mean, fuck, if Band-Maid did a song with Tom Morello, again, seems like Tom Morello. It's got the right touch. Do a song with Tom Morello. I'm down for that.
For sure. And obviously the Uzi Vert one, I wish I could scrub that song from all existence and from my memory. When it came out, I didn't like it. And I spoke to a lot of people, and Babymetal fans go, "Oh, it's Babymetal. It's really, really good." And I fucking love Babymetal as much as anybody knows, but that was just not a good collab.
A real fan can be honest when they don't understand. I personally, I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I just don't think it. I just think it's kind of like it's there. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I seen the comments, and all the Uzi Vert fans are going, "Who the fuck are Babymetal?" And all the Babymetal fans are going, "Who the fuck is Uzi Vert?"
Well. My biggest issue is when I found out more about Little Uzi Vert as a person. And usually I like to keep music separate from people. But when I found out about some of the stuff he did, I'm like, why would you drag the name of a band who, their whole thing is just that they have a nice, positive atmosphere, positive thing with them. They bring positivity to metal, metal's already quite a positive genre, I'll be honest. But I mean, they are just a positive light. And why would you drag their name through the dirt by having them hang around with someone who seems to have been convicted, not alleged, convicted of some pretty disgusting shit? I'm like, why would you do that?
It just seems like a really bonkers collaboration. Like, I don't know whose idea that was.
I can't see Band-Maid ending up in that situation. I think that at least their collaborations will be stuff where I think it will be like collaborations born more out of a genuine camaraderie than anything. But I mean, think about the Western, think about the Eastern collaborations. That's what I really wanted. I mean, the inevitable Silent Siren Band-Maid. That's not going to happen because we've got the Western ones. We're not going to have. I mean, Bish have broken up. They could get their friends from Bish. They could pick members to do a song with them. Ex-members of X Japan. It's like all these Eastern collaborations.
Could this be like
much more excited about?
Could this be like just a translation error maybe? Because I know they said like Western. But is that not like there's going to be some Eastern?
What do you mean like Okinawa, collabs? Like Western Japan? I
don't know. It just feels really weird to go straight to like Western collabs without doing like anything Eastern. Well, I definitely think there's going to be a mix, or I hope there's going to be a mix. So you're going to get like a few maybe Western collabs and a few Eastern ones.
Unless my memory serves me wrong, I've stared at that screen for a good few seconds. Like, yeah, that's what I think it does. Because the thing is that. I'm pretty sure that's what they said. And considering the amount of time they spent in America, and of course, like songs like Memorable, that was based off of, that was almost like a love letter to their time in America. And they've really fallen in love with America, which I've got to be honest, I'm fine with that. I think it's great for their fan base and breaking out and everything. I am one of those people, and we did a video about this like quite a few months ago about the fact that they haven't toured in Europe after COVID, and they still haven't announced anything. And you know, I mean, I spoke to some people at the show yesterday who were like, "Oh, we're glad we came to Japan to see, you know, some like European people. They're glad we came to see them." But you could say they were like, I didn't include this in my video, by the way, but you know, some of them actually said, you know, we kind of wish that they would actually come to Europe. You know, it's like, but they haven't. So clearly, there is this like love thing going on between Band-Maid and American. That's kind of, I'm fine with that, but it does mean that I think that we're pretty, when they say we're collaborating with Western artists, I don't think we're going to be getting anyone from, you know, Liverpool on there. Sorry, bud. I think we are straight up looking at them of American artists, which again, nothing particularly wrong with that. I just can't think of many American artists who I'm like, oh shit, I really want to hear them on a Band-Maid song. But I mean, I would love to hear Wednesday Campanella
collaboration. It's gonna be something like that. Imagine.
Do you want us to be the last video on this channel? As
if there's going to be loads of collabs, there's going to be somebody they're going to collab with that we don't like. It's going to happen.
But in a way, I mean, I would kind of be cool with that if they perform with someone. I mean, look, there isn't that many artists who I don't like. There's artists who I don't particularly like their music, but that's fine because if they do a song with Band-Maid and it turns out to be a good song, I will be sold on that. I'll be like, oh, that's really cool. I didn't like you, but you did a song with them and it turned out to be really good. There's not many artists who I viscerally just don't want to hear you on a song because that means I have to personally dislike them. And artists who I personally dislike, I tend not to really pay much attention to the people outside of the music because I kind of feel like, you know, half the time everyone's got like, they're either got like some wild political opinion or this or that or the other. I'm not really interested. I try to avoid that unless they're straight up a disgusting criminal, like certain people who we've come to mention.
I was about to say, it could be like a Band-Maid, you know, Lil Wayne collaboration. There you go. That makes Nickelback look good now, doesn't it?
Why are you doing this to me? Oh god, yeah. I will be honest. If we end up with Band-Maid Takeshi 69, then I'm gonna just assume that, you know, life doesn't want me around anymore. But this is what I mean. I don't see Band-Maid getting involved in that kind of collaboration. But so I guess more as we talked about what we don't want to happen, maybe on the positive side. I mean, let's say it's not a huge number of artists who I'm really. But I mean, I think the things I'd like to see is maybe like Band-Maid working with Western artists, maybe smaller artists who we've never heard of. Maybe, you know, sort of like Warning, we've heard of them, but a lot of people wouldn't have. That's an artist who they can perform with, and there's like a mutual thing. Maybe we're going to discover artists from this that we didn't know before. you got some people who I can't imagine they would add anything particularly to the Band-Maid sound, but are just quintessentially nice people. I mean, like if like Dave Grohl turned up on a song with Band-Maid, I would be 100% for that. I mean, I'm not really sure it would add anything to the Band-Maid sound, but I'd be like, Dave Grohl!
Well, this is it. These are some collabs as well. I think we're thinking musically as in like the music's going to change, but I could totally see it just being like a Band-Maid, the pure Band-Maid sound with like no alterations. But like you just said,
so pointless, basically.
Yeah, with a just a Dave Grohl doing a chorus or something like that, or you know,
yeah, I'll go with that.
Or a Corey Taylor just doing a quick 20-second thing.
Oh shit! Because Band-Maid have done what the Slipknot festival thing, haven't they? And Band-Maid, there's famously that video of Band-Maid doing the riff from a Slipknot song in one of their practice things. Now that's very anecdotal, but that could be a sign that you never know, you could get a Slipknot Band-Maid. Again, I don't know how I'd feel about that. I'd be like,
well, it depends what, again, like the difference between Slipknot and Corey as a solo artist is drastically different. But you could draft Corey in as an individual and you'd still have that Slipknot name attached to you, but just by default, just because they're massive and he's the lead singer to that band. So already just with that, you'll get international, well, not even international, worldwide recognition straight off the bat, just by having him in the song in some form. Even if it's like detached from Slipknot.
I guess that's kind of actually a good point. That's the thing that so there's both there's the fan side of me here, and there's also the practical side. I mean, from a practical side, so long as they don't do something which turns out to be an absolute dirge, and so long as which I can't imagine they ever would, and so long as they don't perform with someone who's got a particularly sort of insipid, horrible reputation, which again I don't think they would, then this is only ever going to be a net benefit. Because like I said with the Last Rockstars show, I mean, I don't really care what you think of the Last Rockstars. Band-Maid performing with them is good for their exposure. It's good for getting them out to new fans, and those new fans ultimately find Band-Maid. So this project is ultimately another good business move from the people at Band-Maiding. However, from the side of someone who loves the music, I gotta be honest, I'm interested, but I'm much more excited just about hearing an album of Band-Maid, and I would be like very excited to hear, oh, this is Band-Maid collabing with a bunch of like Japanese artists.
Well, I was going to say, maybe we're looking too far. Maybe we're looking too far as well. Like what about something like which is foreign but a little bit more closer to home? Imagine like just for shits and giggles here. So before you tut in disgust, something like a Band-Maid and Blackpink collab or something like that. Something a little bit closer to home, but possible, because there has been a lot of Korean and Japanese mixes and stuff like that recently, which would be. Yeah, I know. I can feel the disgust.
Why did you, of all the K-pop artists, why did you choose Blackpink?
I don't know. They're just the first one that came into my head.
The minute I hear a Band-Maid song which starts with an amazing Konami riff and then over the top someone saying Blackpink in your area is the day that I am just deciding that life has no room for me anymore. There are no spaces at the inn.
Imagine Miku coming out and going Blackpink in your area.
Oh, that hurt on some deep level. Oh,
I'm having more fun here.
The crushing disappointment, the cringe power that would. She wouldn't do that. Can you imagine?
I'm so sorry to anybody watching this video as well. I know I've given you all nightmares.
Oh look, all your fans are coming back to me.
Yeah. There you go. I felt sorry for you. You can have them back.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, I think when they say Western artists, I think they don't just mean anywhere like magnetically west of Tokyo. I mean, I'm sure that's not the yeah. I mean, again though, I hate to say it, but yeah, I just think there's maybe this is the problem with being out of touch with Western music, which I got to be honest, I probably am. Is that maybe I just don't know who those good artists are, but. Yeah, honestly, and I was saying this to my friend when we left the show. I was like, if I honestly had a rating of what order I put them in, I'd say probably the most exciting for me, Band-Maid collabing with Eastern artists, because that could be some crazy shit. It could be really interesting. I'd be really excited. Normal Band-Maid album, close second, because, well, I'm always excited for a Band-Maid album, but, just something like that would be even better. Band-Maid collaborating with Western artists, it's nothing against Western artists. It's just, I really, like we said this a million times before, one of the ways I can tell a Western artist before they've even started singing is if you listen to a Western rock band, almost, I know this is not true of all artists, but so much more common than in Japan, they'll start playing and you'll be like, why is the bass and the guitar playing the exact same thing? It's like, oh, it's a riff, they're both playing the same riff. Oh, it's chords, oh, they're both playing the exact same thing. It's like you listen to like a Japanese band, and like the bass and the guitar is like, they've had their own parts written, and so I don't know, the excitement just doesn't feel quite there. And the same thing I could say is even true of Babymetal. I would rather hear them do stuff with Western artists, but then again,
to be fair, they've had more. They've had more hits than they've had misses. I mean, I would consider the Bring Me the Horizon one a hit, the Tom Mandela one a hit, and also the Jakob one as well. Imagine is Jakob from Sabaton.
Oh God! Oh, Imagine I. Oh,
Imagine I.
You mean the worst Babymetal song of all time?
They're all coming back again now.
Imagine I is
the
worst Babymetal song.
I like that song. It's pure and simple, and it does exactly what it wants you to do. It's
I like it for about 20 seconds, but then he just carries on for some inexplicable reason.
Well, that like I said, I was having this debate actually with Chris when I was at the Babymetal show, and he hates Imagine I. Like, I kept winding him. I kept singing it every fucking 20 seconds just to do his fucking nutting.
That sounds like you, yeah. That sounds like
he just looked at me with like daggers in his eyes, like, I'm gonna fucking kill you. And I'm just like, you know that fucking meme with fucking oh fuck me, what's his name now? Not the bees.
Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage, yeah, the one with Nicolas Cage when he's in the car and he just looks and the other guy's smiling back at him. That was me just singing Imagine I to him constantly. I was like,
do you know what? I don't know that meme, but just because it's a Nicolas Cage meme, without even knowing it, just within context, I can imagine what you mean. And terror is how I would respond to any Nicolas Cage face in person.
Oh, it's so good. But like it's just a hooky song, isn't it? I mean, that's the definition of what you aim to do. Like when you think of the Bring Me the Tom song, that's a song that's aimed to be a song. The Imagine I one is not aimed to be a sophisticated.
Can I just confirm? So Chris dislikes Imagine I now. If I'm correct, he's a massive Babymetal fan and a massive Sabaton fan.
Yes.
So this is what happens when you actually care about a collaboration. It's easier to get disappointed. But no, I think, I mean, so long as it's not actually an openly bad song, But so with Band-Maid, if Band-Maid do a collaboration with The Warning, I don't know if that's something I'm particularly excited about, but it's something that I can imagine it being a good song. I can imagine it being good. I will enjoy it. Hopefully I'll be blown away by it. But I just imagine, it's not going to be bad. Because I've never heard a bad Warning song. They don't exactly make me go, wow, but I've never heard a bad Warning song before. So that'll be something good and interesting and different, and it'll be good for everyone's profile. That would just be great. I can't really think of any others. So what we got? So Howard's version of this album, we've got Band-Maid versus The Warning. I'm good with that. Band-Maid randomly with Dave Grohl, just because Dave Grohl's a nice guy and he's really good for publicity. What else can I get in here? That's about it.
That's about it.
Is that literally all I can think of that I would even want to? I just think I haven't listened to enough Western artists. Throw some Western artists at me, Neon.
Oh, I don't know. I'm trying to think of. The problem is like I'm trying to take my bias out of it, and I'm trying to think less of a fan and more of a studio head, or like what would be more beneficial.
We've gone full weeb.
I know.
We can't name Western bands. We've gone weeb.
I mean, it depends. Like, obviously, I wouldn't class Babymetal as metal either. So, like, some of the bands I'm thinking of, as like I said, the Slipknots and stuff like that. I don't even think the collab. Although the potential to do stuff like that, like Avenged Sevenfold and all these big Western artists, I don't think that would be the type of genre a BAND-MAID collab would target. And I know I was taking the mick out of Nickelback before, but that's the kind of Avril Lavigne, Pink. Like, these are the type of acts I think would be the target of a BAND-MAID collab.
Now, that's an interesting one. So, for example, like when you mentioned like Avril Lavigne and Pink, these are not artists who I necessarily think would like, oh, well, that's going to be like something that's going to add a lot to the BAND-MAID sound. Or I can't really imagine that sort of like, yeah. But the thing is that if it's just a singer, that's actually kind of an interesting point. Just getting a singer, like collabing, singing alongside Psyche on a song. Yeah, that could be interesting. That's more of like a tonal thing. Then again, that feels more like a featurette. But yeah, I guess that's the thing. If it was a featurette, if it's just an artist coming in and featuring on a BAND-MAID song, yeah, I think that makes me happy.
Yeah, that's what I see. Soul. Yeah, that's what I see the direction of it going. Like if I was a studio head and wanted to get the best widespread recognition for this collab. I mean, if you take one of those artists in America, the song's going to be played all over the place over there, which is pretty much what they're going to be aiming for, as well as obviously Japan and stuff like that. So, like, as in a business sense, that makes sense. As a fan, I don't want to see that. I would like not to see it.
I would be, I guess I'd be more excited for a collab because the potential for something really interesting and different.
Yeah.
But it's also a higher risk of something coming out where you're just like, oh shit, I can't believe you dragged BAND-MAID onto that. But with a featurette, you get something like Metari by Babymetal, whereas like Tomra just turns up, he's like, oh, he's got one thing to do.
Yeah, it's still a quintessential Babymetal song, and he just comes in and does his spin out. That's what I would like to say. Although, kind of like going back to like when Heath Ledger was cast as a Joker, can you remember like the backlash everybody gave him? They're like, oh, this pretty boy's playing the Joker, that's never going to happen. And I feel like we do that sometimes with music as a whole.
Don't think I was as much into.
Yeah, he got some really bad things for that casting. I feel like we do the same thing when we think of bands. I think we think like, oh god, no, that's never going to work. But you don't know until they try, do you? And
but then again, really, I mean, like, so you don't know. I mean, like you say, it could turn up and it could be Heath Ledger, or it could turn up with green hair and damage tattooed on their forehead, and it's like, oh shit, this is going to be the new BAND-MAID song. This is my point. It's that can snap you in the face as well, and this is what I mean. It's risk and reward. It's like you could end up with something
amazing.
Which is really, really good. Which is why, like I say, when I hear about a collaboration, I'm like, yeah, I'm really excited about that. But
you could end up with Heath Ledger or Jared Leto.
Yeah, exactly. That's where we're going. I mean, am I going to do that for the thumbnail?
Yeah.
But I mean, so for me, and I think that's a really good analogy, because like when I think of like collabing with, and this is where perhaps the jaded side comes in, but I think I'm basing this on something reasonable. When I think about BAND-MAID collabing with Eastern artists, it's like there's a good chance of a Heath Ledger. When I think of them performing with a lot of Western artists, literally my pool of knowledge is not as good, but I think there's a lot of Jared Leto's out there. It's like, tread wisely.
Yeah. I'm actually really interested to know. The thing is, like I said, I'm trying to think of like rock bands, non-metal bands, which is really hard because obviously I'm predominantly metal. That's the genre I listen to. But trying to think of like popular, like Western, like rock bands. I mean, there's a few in UK, I imagine, but again, I don't see them doing any UK bands, so I'm going to rule them out entirely. It will be again. I just think it's going to be, like I said, the likes of Foo Fighters, Nickelback, Avril Lavigne, Pink. That's the kind of things I'm thinking they will do. That's not particularly what like I said, as a fan, I want to see, but I can't shake this whole feeling that the whole US tour things that they've been doing kind of remind me of Atarashi Gaku, where they're just like repeatedly going to the US as to try and break it. I know you said before it seems to be a love affair, but I'm wondering if it's a love affair with the band or it's a love affair with the fucking record company. Because
I think it's both. I mean, it might well have been sparked by. I mean, so don't get me wrong. I'm sure the record company were very, because Band-Maid have been to America. They've been to Europe before COVID. I'm sure the record company were very aware of. Look, there's festivals we can book you in. There's all this kind of stuff. It's like we can get you like a lot of stuff in America right now, and it's quite possible that relationship, that maybe even tying that in with being their post-COVID escape, their first place outside of Japan after it might have started a love affair with the band. But I think it's a mixture of both. Whatever instigated it, certainly the company seems to be very much focused on cultivating that audience. But the band, you can tell in the way they've written about it, it's clearly had a profoundly important place in their hearts. It's had an impact on them. So yeah, I'm kind of the mind that is like, yeah, this is not a surprise. But I just, like I because for me it's hard to know what exactly they love, and I think the thing they love about it is the culture. It's the experience of being somewhere so different. It's how different the fans are, how different the venues are. I mean, you can imagine it. It's a very different world, and it's a big country, and I can imagine
it's meeting all those people from Texas.
Yeah, I mean, I can imagine like Band-Maid having a pretty damn good time down in Texas. I mean, yeah, exactly. And I don't know if they've played there. Someone who I'm sure will tell me, but I mean, I'm sure they've played.
Sorry to any American viewers, by the way. I do apologize.
Oh, I thought you actually, that accent was so good, I thought you were American. I apologize.
I did not have sexual relations with their woman.
Was he from Texas? I do not think he was. But yeah, so I think, so for example, like, so just to clarify, like a lot of the Western bands who I actually kind of enjoy are ones I enjoy more for being, I know they're simple bands, and I kind of like them because there's a joy to their simplicity. So, I like a lot of the sort of like the sort of soul, bands like Offspring, Blink-182, that kind of sort of like, Blink-182, but not the stuff like the Neighborhoods album where they think suddenly they got clever and they deliver one of the worst albums of all time. But I'm talking about like, Western bands are very good at being fun. And I think that actually might be another way in which it could work. If there's just a Western band who can like click with Miku's sense of fun, and then Miku and this band can have fun together, then that could work. I mean, that could definitely work. I mean, I wouldn't expect like a Band-Maid Blink-182 thing, but like even if Blink-182 wouldn't really add anything interesting to their music, the personality would be there.
Yeah, I could see them maybe collabing like bands with like women front women, so like maybe like the Pretty Reckless and stuff like that.
Oh, that's an interesting one. Yeah, that's actually a very interesting one. I didn't think of that, but yeah.
I'm trying to think of like kind of like not too metal bands, but kind of like rock bands.
The
Paramore.
singer from Pretty Reckless, and that's a good one as well. There we go. Yeah, do you know what? Paramore Band-Maid, I would be excited. I would be genuine. That's a good one. There you go. We got it. We found one.
Actually, I'm trying to find it. I'm trying to think of that.
Those
that
so long as they don't impart too much of their religion on Band-Maid, then I'm fine.
I'm trying to think of bands that like not too rocky but not too poppy, like that nice like sort of in between.
No, you come up with two good ones there. Actually, you're changing my mind. This is why I asked you to give me bands earlier. All right, so Pretty Reckless, not exactly like the most interesting band ever, but they know how to put a good song structure together. They're good at song structures. Them and Band-Maid, that would work. Plus their singer plus Psyche, good match.
Hailstorm might be a good one as well.
I seem to remember like listening to them and then going, but everyone loves them. I are they the one who sung about beer? They did some song about beer or something.
Oh, I can't remember. So I'm trying to think. There's another band as well, but I can't think of the name unless it is the band I just said.
All right, so my shopping list at the moment is Warning, Pretty Reckless, Paramore.
Oh no, it is a Hailstorm. Yeah, so I was thinking of the right band.
What were the other bands we said as well?
Foo Fighters.
Foo Fighters. I'd be okay with, like, I mean, it would never happen, but like something with Blink-182 as well, just because they had the personality, plus multiple vocalists again, having like 2 male and 2 female singers, even if one of them is Tom DeLonge and he has to talk like this in every song. It's like, even if it was that, it would be interesting.
Yeah, it would be. Again, I think Nickelback again could be a distinct possibility. I know nobody wants.
Just stop with that shit.
I just got. I don't know what it is, but I just got this innate fear that it's going to be Nickelback. I can't shake it. you know when you like walk into a room and your hair is standing on the back of your neck, and you're just like someone's watching you in the dark. I get that feeling. I'm just preparing myself for the worst.
Never made it as a singer. Oh man, yeah.
Although as much as we take the piss out of Nickelback, I actually quite like Nickelback. So I'm
I'll be honest enough to state, like, Nickelback, I don't really know when their first album was. They had some like unsigned albums and stuff, but they had that one with Leader of Men on, that was pretty decent. Then they had the really famous one,
Silver Side Up, wasn't it?
Yeah, little bit emo-y, but basically, they had songs, they had structures, it rocked and everything. Then the one after that, which had like this photograph, that was the next one, wasn't it? Anyway, that one was it was pretty decent. It had a couple of songs on it, but it was a bit generic, but it had a couple of songs on it. And then just from there, just like it got weird. And then recently it had that song where it was about 10 years ago, I think, about like revolution or something, and it made me want to gouge my brain out. My ears weren't enough. I had to get to the stem and just tear the whole thing out of my head.
Yeah, Nickelback went from like metal rock scene, and they transitioned to kind of like what's the right terminology? No, like casual audience, like more of like the pop normal scene, and that's when their music kind of changed. I think to be more radio friendly, I think, more than anything, as you want to put it.
I mean, it's up to them if they're doing what they want. Then
I mean, they're not regretting it. They've got fucking millions in their back pocket. So
yeah, I think most of their money has come out of doing like those country style songs, though, because they've had a big audience. So stuff like Photograph, Rockstar, those songs play to a sort of country rock kind of sound, which there's a massive audience for. So that's the area where they're going to get their money. Doing all those sort of like fake pop songs is just it's not going to work. Some artists can transition from rock to pop. Nickelback is not one of them. But talking of that, there you go. So we've got 2 minutes.
Yeah, there you go.
3 cuts out. But
let us know in the comments what kind of like Western bands you would like. I'd like to see what people come up with. Me and Howard have been trying to rack our brains. We've both been to gigs this week, so like we're both deprived of sleep, as you can tell. So we're trying to rack our brains. But maybe you guys can come up with some better, interesting options. I would like to read through them.
I actually think Neon, you sold me there with like Pretty Reckless, not astounding, but they're pretty good. Pretty Reckless, Warning, Paramore, those three are pretty solid. I don't know if I'd be like super excited, but I would definitely look forward to those 3.
Again, Pink, Avril Lavigne, although maybe not the genre any of us would
see them happening, but yeah.
But they're mega huge stars, and again, that's more me thinking in terms of a label.
Although Avril Lavigne is a desperate weeb who'll do anything for people to think she can say the word kawaii and not seem like a total weeb. She's quite popular here. She's quite popular here.
Yeah, she did that Japanese song, didn't she? That like everybody in the West hated, but I think she kind of gained quite good popularity in Japan.
Yeah, she does a lot of adverts here. She does that post-famous stuff, which will turn up on an advert for like a bathroom cleaner or something. Anyway, so thank you everyone. We've got like 45 seconds left before we get kicked out. So we're gonna tell you, thank you so much for watching. Comment, tell us what you think, and keep your ears to the east.
Yeah.
That way. I'm sure this time.